Oh, hello there, Travis. What are we actually seeing starts to get complicated? It was easy. It will start to separate. Are definitely not behind that restricted access grid. They're not. Forget about it.
None of them will be able to be revived.
So please, be reasonable. Age returning to the orientation we usually the private traditional. A stabby, but I don't think. And those rectangular outcroppings weren't. Here is my Catwoman glove and glove. I should have a floating, impossible anti-gravity blah blah blah. Now, if we were to take it, snapshots, eventually, how do you translate a discrete shell?
Well, Ari, we've been tracking this thing for weeks and we still don't know what it is.
The basilisk has its eyes on you. What are you going to do? Then at some point, the acceleration is going to get so high that you're going to pass 9.8 meters. Look, I know that neither of those examples were fun. A screaming fish on this side would never be hit, leaving me weightless no matter where I am. What the? We generate our truth endogenously or within our own bodies.
I give killer high fives.
Is it? Is it? This story is only one of a dozen. Okay, good, because it's rock, paper, scissors. Where are you right now?
Bam.
The finger laser. That finger laser. Isn't that wild? Finger laser.
It's good coffee. Oh, I'm sorry, what were we talking about?
Hello there, travelers. If you notice, we begin on exactly 2/22/2222. A not exactly once-in-a-lifetime event. In 11 years, you'll have a 33333. Another 11 years, you have a 44444. But in this specific orientation, with the way that humans decide to write down their dates and such, this is a once-in-a-lifetime Tuesday. Welcome. As you can see, for this episode of Office Hours, we start in space. I decided to start in my own hermetically sealed, which means airtight, which I didn't know until later on in my life. Hermetically sealed spaceship cockpit, because I will say that I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. I don't have COVID. I took a test. But I am sniffly. I am coffee. I have coffee. And I will be doing my best to get through today. But do you know what's helping me get through today? All of you here watching live, to talk about how the James Webb Space Telescope, which is just over there on the left, you can see it, right? How the James Webb Space Telescope is going to revolutionize how we look for alien life. How are we going to do that on this Tuesday? Well, join me, won't you? No, man, that thing lands faster and faster. Thank goodness I have this new orbital command system here in the facility. Hello and welcome to Office Hours, the live component of the facility where good old Professor Kyle opens up his blast doors, as you can obviously see, and lets all of you, members of the general public who've ignored all of my warning signs, if you get decapitated by a laser, not my problem, members of the facility, staff, my security team, everyone who supports the facility in every way, shape, and form, even the custodians who are working on this dang blinky light. Fix it! On Office Hours, we like to talk about this, that, and the other thing in the world of science. Of course, we talk about a couple of main topics today. We'll be talking about how the James Webb Space Telescope is jump-starting search for extraterrestrial intelligence. We'll also take some of your comments, questions, corrections, and comments and questions from the latest episode of the facility. But before we get to that, I want to tell you that if you want to continue on this conversation after the stream is live, look what's happening. They're way ahead of me. After the stream is live, you can join the facility at patreon.com/Kyle Hill. You can get videos early. You can see, you could still watch my Pripyat video that hasn't been copyright struck off of YouTube. You can still watch that. You can talk with me on our members-only Discord. And if you really, really want me to see something, of course, you can do what these very fancy people in the chat are doing and try Super Chat. I can't promise that I can get to everything, but I will try my very best. And even if I don't see what you say through Super Chat, it will be going towards me buying real invisibility cloaks and stuff like that, which is true. That's the episode that I just wrote today. Webb King's Geek, the 10 says, hey, Kyle, I have an interesting question. As someone who has a disability, I want to know how I can represent myself in science. Representing diversity in science starts with just being visible. It's not necessarily finding a big way or organization or hyper-focus, especially if one doesn't exist or one isn't already out there helping people. So I like the approach. Well, I like an approach that I've seen, which is just change what the public thinks a scientist looks like. Do your work, do it well, communicate, be out there, be yourself, and that will change the public's perception of scientists. This is what a scientist looks like. It looks like everybody, because everybody can do science. We also have Kyle with the 10, starting office hours without a phone call. I'm impressed. My voice, it hurts. I can feel it right now. It might not be too good in a little bit. Happy Tuesday here in the West. Oh my god, I'm on a Kyle Hill video, says W Pixels. Section. New commenter, this is my first live stream in a while, and I've been busy working in the ER, so I haven't had a chance to watch the new docu-series. Your video got copyright claimed. Your own video by who? So here's what happened. I know a lot of people... if you want to watch me have my heart broken in real time live, go watch the end of the last live stream where I was doing peer review, and I was going to look on the video to see all the comments from all you lovely people. But as I was doing that, literally at the exact same time section, my video was taken down. I had a copyright claim. Now, I have contacts at YouTube, and I've been in contact with the person who had the claim. Here's what happened. We did make a mistake. I will be the first to admit. What we did is use some archival footage from a source that was funded, publicly funded, by the Russian government, and on the source it said commercial Creative Commons allowed. What we didn't know is that that source was stealing its footage from a different copyright holder. That copyright holder in Ukraine, actually the documentary filmmakers of Ukraine, a law firm that represents them, they're the one who made the claim. So it is a legit claim. And I am in contact with them about what we're going to do. I don't know if we're going to re-upload or not. I don't know exactly what we're going to do. I'm waiting for some response from YouTube on that. But we'll figure it out. Brick Top. So I made a mistake, but it was because we got tricked by someone else who was stealing footage. Brick Top says, Kyle is a douche who was almost as bad on UFOs as Neil deGrasse Tyson is. Brick Top, the only thing thicker than you is an actual brick. All right. Hope you have a wonderful day, my man. Corby Herb with the 20 says, I put you on most nights, and even though my fiance gets mad, the Kyle content is worth it. Tell your fiance, sit down, relax. Let's talk about aliens, especially for that guy named Brick. He's a dum-dum. So, as the title and thumbnail suggest, the James Webb Space Telescope is going to change a lot of things in science. Like we said last time, Nathan Casados with the 222 on 22222 Tuesday. Thank you, Nathan Casados. As we said last time on the JWST, it's going to change a lot of things in science. I think over 10% of all astronomy papers in science use the Hubble telescope's data. So you can only imagine with something many times more powerful that it's going to be also invaluable. to our scientific efforts in astronomy, cosmology, astrophysics, that kind of thing. So, it's going to change a lot in science, and one of the things it may change, as suggested by a new paper, which we're going to talk briefly about, is our ability to discover whether or not intelligent life exists out there in the universe. And how would we do that? Brick Top, back in the chat. No one is even saying UFOs are alien. I'm glad you came back into the chat with a variant. So, how do we look for alien life before? Say we have a weird-looking planet like this. Jesse Estrada says, I love everything you do except your cheesy accents. Love your show. That's a $5 donation from Jesse Estrada, who loves everything I do except for my cheesy accents. I love your show. Former super nerd here, Matthew Spriggs. Hey, Kyle, neutron star BB pellets was my idea. Ooh. Matthew Spriggs, you're never a former super nerd. You're always a super nerd in my heart, baby. Robert Miller is right on the money. So, in the chat, how do we look for life? Previously, the Hubble telescope did not have the resolution to do what we can do today with the James Webb Space Telescope. What we did before with SETI, most famously, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, was look for so-called techno-signatures of life in the universe. So signatures of technology that implies some sort of intelligence out there that is either sending signals out into the void, traveling at the speed of light, or trying to contact us. Acting Unit 08 with the 20 says, I love cheesy accents, keep them coming. Oh, Jesse Estrada, you just got owned, my man. But as you can imagine, looking for techno-signatures that might be difficult because tight beam communications, radio messages you send out into the void have to be extremely targeted, right? Think of how hard it is to aim something at something. A lot of people mad. Whenever I talk about aliens, a lot of weirdos come out of the woodwork, huh? Think of how hard it is to aim something at something. You're trying to throw a piece of trash into a waste bin. Now imagine how hard it is to hit something that's 1,000 feet away, then 1,000,000 feet away, then 1,000,000,000,000 feet away, then a light year away, then thousands of light years. Every increase in distance makes it that much harder to target something. Every increase in distance makes any small change in angle that much more important. If you are trying to hit Earth with a signal from Andromeda, for example, the nearest galaxy, just changing a fraction of a degree, you'd completely miss the Earth by many, many, many millions of kilometers. So that would be hard. So what can we do instead? Greetings from Cyprus, says Andreas Archilos. Welcome. Man, I can really tell that the mods aren't here at the moment. You COVID sellout. I used to love watching your videos. You're a sheep now, says Clifford Sawyer, who puts an emoji of a sheep. And who's spamming it again, which means, nuked. How can I sell out to a disease? I mean, yes, Clifford, yes. Look, you're banned, but, I mean, yes. Have I received multiple Lamborghini Aventadors since I started telling people to take public health seriously? Yes, I have. Look, every time I put on a mask, I get a $10,000 check from fake Fauci right into my pocket. It's a brilliant setup that I wasn't supposed to tell you about. That does happen, but get out of here. What the heck was I talking about? There's a lot of weirdos in here right now. Sal Caro with the 10, right on the money. We'll get to what you said. Okay, I'm getting behind. There's a lot of you here. Let's focus for a second. So finding a techno signature might be quite difficult if it's not very, very precisely directed. Jay Twisted with a 222 is refueling my band hammer. Oh, you mean this little man? This little guy? Oh, yeah. Oh, he's coming. Oh, he's coming for you. So instead of looking for techno signatures, it might be easier to instead look for bio signatures. And biosignatures would be any kind of indication that life on another planet existed. How do you look for life like that? Well, one of the most promising ways is something that the JWST, the James Webb Space Telescope, now might be able to do. If you want to know what is happening on another planet, it's a good idea to actually, Soid's in the chat, it's right on the money. Chaos Omega. Everyone's getting it right. Everyone's way ahead of me. One good way to look for alien life would be to look what life is doing to the medium in which they exist. That is to say, the atmosphere. If a planet has an atmosphere, good sign. If the atmosphere has stuff in it, interesting. How would we look into an atmosphere? Well, we have to look at the light coming from nearby stars, traveling through that atmosphere, and see what happens to the light. Spectroscopy. Different atoms, different molecules will absorb or reflect different wavelengths of light. And so in the lab, our scientists would go into, would use a gas chromatograph mass spectrometer or something like that, I think. But scientists in the lab would use different materials and see what light they reflect or absorb. And they get this kind of optical fingerprint for what these materials do. Now, once we have this optical fingerprint, we can look at other stuff. And if we see the same fingerprint, it means the same stuff is in it. You can look at the sun and see what the sun is made of through its spectral range. So if we were able to look at an exoplanet, for example, with an atmosphere, we could look at the light traveling through that atmosphere and see what doesn't make it through or does. And then that would give you an indication of what's in it. Now, if what's in it is some sort of pollutant or byproduct of life or byproduct of technology, that would be a great indication that some intelligent life is there. What this new paper is suggesting, that's how they discovered helium through spectroscopy, says ACS. Yes. Let me catch up for a second. Question as always from Liz Calvert and her tiny human Alex. Hey, Alex. Hope school is going well, buddy. With a 50, if you put diesel in a car, would the car explode because the diesel has more energy in it than gasoline? And cars run on tiny explosions? No, Alex. We have diesel engines that work just fine. Engineers have gotten really good at making little explosions manageable. We've gotten good at making little explosions manageable and big explosions manageable, and that's how we go to space, my man. We have 20 from Vinzer Sorensen. Oh, my voice is already gone. With the 20 says, hey, Kyle, I watch all your content from magic to science. Huge fan, size, and dedication. Size? Are you big? Am I big? Anyway, appreciate that. If you like my magic content, I will be appearing on I Hate Your Deck for a couple episodes very soon. Corby Herb with the 50 says, my fiance said she'd rather watch bad 90s sitcoms than watch you, says Kofi. Oh, Tactical Bucket is in here. Thank goodness. My fiance would rather watch bad 90s sitcoms. Well, I guess, Kobe, that just means your fiance and I are never going to be friends. Don't break up over this. Jay Twisted with another... No, I already got that. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this new paper, which I'm talking about, relates to the picture behind me. This paper is suggesting using the JWST, or the Webby, as we call it here at the facility, to look for something like chlorofluorocarbons, which is an old molecule that we used to use as a refrigerant everywhere until we realized it was destroying the ozone layer. The ozone layer in the atmosphere, of course, helps protect life on Earth and everything from certain energy radiation, like UVC radiation, which would be bad for everyone and everything on the planet. That's why destroying the ozone layer was bad. These CFCs did that, and so in 70s, 80s, we banned their use. 85? I don't know. But anyway, there's a techno/biosignature on Earth. It's getting better, but on Earth of what happened to. Oh, I can put my band hammer away now. Thank you, Jay. There's a there's a biosignature of a technosignature on Earth if you look in the atmosphere, and so this paper now suggests, which is called Detectability of Chlorofluorocarbons in the Atmosphere of Habitable M-Dwarf Planets. What this suggests is looking for the same kind of ozone layer depletion in distant exoplanets as a way to indicate that this is a good place to look for alien life, because nothing that we know naturally produces CFCs in this way. Now, something to note there. Habitable M-dwarf planets. Why does the star matter? Well, because stars vary in size, stars vary in brightness. And so with the instrument that you're using, whatever telescope that may be, space or otherwise, that radiation from the star might drown out the signal that you're looking for. Too much noise for your signal. So this paper is talking about specifically using small dwarf red stars that don't put out a whole lot of light yet, so that relatively small amount of light can pass through an atmosphere, give you the spectral optical fingerprint like we were talking about, and you use that against what we know of on Earth that is a techno/biosignature, and then you say, yep, bam, that's aliens. Of course, Matter Beam in the chat. Hope you're doing well. Are you in Germany now? If you are, hope everything's going well in Germania. Yeah, so the star matters, but what is promising is that this is just a suggestion from this paper. Once the JWST is up and running, once we have a better idea of what it can do and what it can see, there's going to be dozens of ways we're not even thinking of right now that we might be able to look for life in this way. It might not be Might not be CFCs. It could be any number of things. Now that we have this kind of optical resolution, artificial illumination, atmospheric constituents, surface constituents, things you can see from space, stellar pollution, stuff around like Dyson sphere and stuff, non-terrestrial artifacts like satellites, megastructures. And I'm quoting now from the study. Industrial pollution represents a class of atmospheric constituents on Earth that could be conceived of as technosignatures if observed in the spectra of an exoplanet. Oh, I'm all thrown off on my timing since we started on 2:22. How long have I been speaking? Oh, jeez. My mom said you're living proof that two men can have a baby. She said you look like Jack and Chris Hemsworth combined. First of all, there's no Jack Hemsworth. Second of all, thank you. Anyway, Brian Murray with the 10. So let me wrap up here for a second. So the JWST is going to jump start our search for alien life because now we have the optical resolution to look at a whole nother class of possible technosignatures. I'm not saying aliens exist. Mathematically, they probably do somewhere. I mean, even if alien life is a 1 in a trillion thing, there's 100 billion galaxies, each with 100 billion stars. That's 10 to the 11 times 10 to the 11, which is 10 to the 22, which you divide by 10 to the 12, which still means there are, 10 billion planets with alien life on it? That's a lot. Anyway. It doesn't make our chances of finding alien life certain, but it makes them better. And that's what's cool. Hey, Kyle, you have a new desk. I know. Thanks for noticing. Brian Murray with the 10 says, question from the VODlands. Can you explain how superluminal spaces work? Or at least what they are? I don't know what you're talking about. I only know the game. Oh, I'm thinking of superliminal. Would you rather fight 100 tiny aliens or one 30-foot tall alien? Says Kismatetron. Depends on the alien. We talking like crabs? Would I rather fight like 100 little crabs or one 30-foot tall crab? I don't know. They're just going to force me to be crab. I just lost the game. It says Magnus. Okay. Kismetatron. Got it. I don't know why carcinization or the tendency for things to evolve to crab has become a meme. I don't know how that actual thing became a meme. But do you want to see me do... There's already an episode from PBS that's like 6 million views about carcinization, but I watched it and it's... Would you like to see an episode from me about why things evolve into crab? I'll do it. Don't think I won't do it. I will. You don't know. Matterbeam doing some math in real time. What they are super good at, of course. If you're trying to aim at Andromeda with something like a tight beam signal, oh, everyone wants crab. Look at all these people who want crab. If you're aiming at Andromeda to get one astronomical unit of precision at 2.5 million light years away. Remember, one astronomical unit is the distance from the sun to Earth. Still 93 million miles. You need a precision of 1 atom width at 100 meters. Whew. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Matterbeam. Matt with the 5 says, hey Kyle, Matt from the Giant Arachnid Lab. Long story short, they got out. It's fine. The Arachnid Lab, as you know, is pressurized with more oxygen than is found in Earth's atmosphere. So if the giant arachnids get out, they're just gonna asphyxiate. Their spiracles can't handle it. Chibi Hugs with the 10 says, would the Webby be able... Thank you. Would the Webby... Would the Webby be able to detect... Wonder what some... I'm losing my mind. Detect what some weather is like on another planet. Hope you feel better soon. I almost lost it there for a second, as you can see. We can do that now. I mean, we can do that with our telescopes now. Look at, for example, the Great Red Spot, the giant storm on Jupiter. That's been going for like 400 years or as long as we've been looking, so I don't see why not. But JWST is not looking in optical wavelengths of light, so it's not going to look like those pretty pictures that you're used to seeing from Hubble. I don't want to run a 5K, so I don't want to know how far it is in miles. Says Heidi. Heidi, a 5K is not 500 miles. That's 5 kilometers. Which is like 2.5 miles. 3 miles. Bumping my previous super chat says Sal Carrera. I'm sorry, Sal. Oh, sorry. Sal, I'm so sorry. Sal Carrera with the 25 says, my voice, Sal. What are you doing to me? Say we find a biosignature. Don't worry, this whole place is negatively pressured like a biosafety level 4 laboratory. Say we find a biosignature on Alpha Centauri and another on Barnard's star. What does that mean in relation to the Fermi paradox? If we find a biosignature on Alpha Centauri and another star, the Fermi's paradox is interesting. Well, it's an interesting thought, but what you have to know about Fermi's paradox at the time when it became popular, and it's popular now, Fermi's paradox is, well, if there's, like I said, if there's a good chance for alien life to be out there just based on the numbers alone, billions and billions and billions, where are they? A lot of potential, zero contact. Why? That's the Fermi's paradox. But remember what went into that paradox at the time is that they didn't have anything like the James Webb Space Telescope. They couldn't even imagine it. They didn't have the ways we have now to look for life. And we won't have the ways we will have something even better in a couple decades, right? So what I'm getting at is that if we found life somewhere else, all it might say about the Fermi paradox is that we couldn't imagine the tools that we'd have in the future, and so it was never a paradox at all. It's like you know, you're in a room filled with light bulbs, and yet you can't see anything. Oh, well, that's a paradox. Except you were looking in the wrong light spectrum. Right? So what we're actually looking for and the tools that we have can completely determine whether or not the paradox is actually a paradox or not, right? Maybe we're looking the wrong way, in the wrong place with the wrong tools. That's possible too. Sal, again with the 10. What is keeping intelligent life, then, from colonizing the galaxy? Is it impossible? I don't know. Now you're talking about something like the Great Filter. Is there a point in civilization's advancement that is like a stopping point, where most intelligent life develops the capability to basically destroy itself, and then it always does, or you can't travel certain distances, or living things can't do X, Y, and Z in certain environments? Is colonizing a galaxy impossible? I don't know. Again, I think you're way overthinking this, as Dan Riddick. It's my job. Mark Black says, hey Kyle, I just found this stick. It's a good stick. It's my stick now. Y'all are weirdos. But that's why I love you. peer review. So, as I'm wont to do on every episode of Office Hours, tell your fiance I'm doing funny accents again and to get in here. Don't say it like that, though. Be nice. Peer review, as I'm wont to do on every episode of the facility, I like to look at comments, questions, and corrections, and then award one of you a plaque from Kevin, making you an honorary member of the facility. Last week, as is pinned in the chat right now. Oh, wait, you're right, Crafty. As pinned in the chat right now. Oh, okay, yeah, you're right, guys. You're right. You're right. We don't want anybody messing up this wonderful game for anyone else. So what I'm gonna do is quickly. I'm gonna pick Bob Matthias Terra. You're now an honorary member of the facility. Do you want this one ring encased in actual lava? Too bad you can't have it. Bye bye. Chat, what just happened? Huh? What just happened? No, I know. What just happened? Kyle, man, you wild. Please like the video now. It is mandatory. We have T-Love, aka the Silver Lurker, with a $100 donation. Just wanted to pop in and say happy Tuesday. Tuesday. Keep up the good work. I'll be watching in the shadows. Keep on lurking. Keep on... You know what they say about the internet. Keep on lurking. Keep on twerking. Ooh. Devin Fowl with the 10 says, if your stream/video if you stream when the first real results from the JSWST come in and it's not titled something like, now witness the resolution of this fully calibrated and operational space telescope, I will be sad. I believe you'll find the deflector shield's quite operational when your friends arrive. That was a wild ride for that accent. Nick Munch, what's the word on your Pripyat video? I'm figuring it out. You can rewind the stream a little bit to the beginning if you want to see what I said there. How are you liking the game so far? It's Forbidden West is hands down one of the best looking games I've ever seen in my entire life. But what is currently sapping up all my gaming time is Escape from Tarkov, which is one of the most focused, cohesive, extremely well-designed games I've ever played in my whole life, where it's an uncompromising idea and design and philosophy that permeates every single system. It's impossibly deep. I've put 80 hours into it already, and I've only learned by heart one map out of 8. No game has ever gotten my adrenaline pumping like Escape from Tarkov, ever. It's basically Dark Souls, it's FPS Dark Souls, more or less. And it's so punishing, but in the same way, it's also extremely rewarding. But Horizon is one of the prettiest looking things I've ever seen. If you want to check my Twitter, my desk right here, you can't see it. I actually punched a hole through it with my fist because I got so angry. Wolfie Muse with the $9.99. What do you think the first societal change would be if we discover evidence of aliens? Says Wolfie Muse. I think the first thing that happened is that religious leaders are going to have to uniformly put out some kind of statement being like, oh, yeah, of course. That's what it, we knew that. Grin Reaper of Trolls with the $9.99. Thank you, Jackie C with the $1.49. I remember an experiment mentioned in Bio 1 that simulated early Earth conditions, which produced a lot of chemicals. Could we look for that with the James Webb Space Telescope? You're talking about the fabled primordial soup, which, if the right conditions on Earth were there in the ocean, in the early oceans, with the right temperature, maybe a stroke of lightning or something like that. Z in the chat. Stroke of lightning, some input of energy, something like that. It could start creating these self-replicating molecules that we now know as DNA and RNA. And then life comes on after that. Could we look for that with the James Webb Space Telescope? Probably not. You're talking about getting down to a resolution on the planet's surface, which means you'd have to see through the atmosphere, and I don't think it can do that. Z with the $500 donation. No, I missed another live stream. I guess I have to be content with your VODs for a while longer, says Z. Z, you're right here, buddy. What a psychomaniac. Yeah. Z, I will say that whenever you donate, I mean, your legend grows with each donation, of course. You're helping pay for some orthodontic work for one of my Kevins. Braces are so expensive! Anyway, I will say that I have siblings, or one sibling, or many siblings. I don't want you to know about me. But I've had siblings say to me when you donate, like, why would anyone give you that amount of money to say something? And the fact that it made them mad gave me energy. Sometimes you gotta take the little things in life, you know? Why is there a breeze on me? Robert Nahan with the 20 says, just got here. Hello, Kyle with the 20. Hope your week went better than you expected it to. Once we figure out how to unban my Pripyat video. See, this might be the play now, chat. I was planning on doing something like this anyway, but I'm thinking of... I might just release the full Chernobyl experience video as one video instead of 3 parts, re-edited into one, like, hour-long experience. I have other videos that are, like, one-offs from Chernobyl and Pripyat and the surrounding areas that are, like, little bits of science here and there. Little episodes we could pick out. But the full thing I might make into, like, a movie. So we don't have to... The first 2 uploads did not do as well as I thought. So, I don't know. I'm figuring it out. The Pripyat video wasn't doing very well anyway, so it wasn't like we got a 5 million view video taken down or anything, but honestly, it was so much of a kick to my groin that I'm kind of numb at the moment to it. I'll figure it out. I noticed this last week that you were one of the commenters. And if the chat could all spam some sort of related emoji, because I said that the James Webb Space Telescope will supercharge the look for alien life, and Tay Zonday is in the chat, says, I'm an alien, and I'm right here. Ho! You know what you could look for? You know what you could look for on another planet as like some kind of biosignature? Ammonium rain. Sometimes you look life for the rain. Tay, welcome. Thank you for commenting last week. That made my day. I don't know why. I did my best. Happy to have you here, brother. Is eating aliens for breakfast safe? Says Epic Thing Man. Doing anything with aliens is probably not safe, for the simple reason that our biology will have no experience of their biology whatsoever. What could be a simple bacteria or single-celled organism to them that's harmless could be a deadly pathogen to us. They might not breathe the same air. They might not even have faces. And so eating one, I mean, bad idea. Guitar Hero Man with chocolate and rain. See, that's what you were supposed to do. Andrew, with the 5. My fiance's dad has throat cancer and kidney failure. Her elderly aunt broke her leg, and today a friend of mine passed away. Will you tell me it will be okay? Says Andrew. Can we get some love for Andrew in the chat? Andrew, what I will say, what I tell to myself when terrible things happen, or I try to tell myself, being a sciencey guy, being a realist and kind of a pessimist, it sounds like a lot of things just went wrong for you, right? But there's a trend, or there's a statistical heuristic that medicine uses. It's called regression to the mean. It means that on average, something will return to the average, right? And so if you're having the best day of your life, the next day of your life is probably not going to be the best day of your life. If you're feeling really sick, and it's the worst you've ever felt, more likely than not, you're going to get a little bit better. And if you're feeling really healthy, you might get sick. Return to the mean. What I'm getting at is that, like, you can have the happiest day of your life and then return to normal. If you're having one of the worst days of your life, it's more likely than not that it will get better from here. I can't prove that. It might get worse, but there's a good chance, Andrew, that things will get better in the short term, if not definitely in the long term. I'm sorry for all of your hardships. I'm not going to tell you anything like, self-helpy, because I don't believe, nothing like that would help me. So, you'll get back on track. Love for Andrew. Heidi with the 1999. Thank you, Andrew. He'll be fine. Like Mod Heather says in the chat, it's okay to not be okay. It's all right. I've always pushed back against the idea of, you always have to be yourself and you always have to give 100% and you always have to be happy. No, you don't. That's not an accurate portrait of what being a human is like. You're allowed to be bored. You're allowed to be lazy sometimes. You're allowed to not want to be yourself some days. Who says you're not allowed to be? And just like you're allowed to find joy in things, you're allowed to find sadness in things. It is a normal part of the human experience. The best we can do is try to maximize the pleasure and minimize the pain, to find the golden mean, to flourish as best you can, as old philosophers used to say. Was that Aristotle? Golden mean? Or was that Plato? Yo, Kyle, read Chainsaw Man someday, says Yosha the Dork Knight. I like the Dork Knight. That's pretty fun. Some says, Kyle, those monitors look small. Are they just tablets on fancy stands? And look, we've been through this. These are both 27-inch curved monitors. What you're forgetting is that I'm enormous. This was a venti. I have a breeze blowing on my hair right now. Whew. No, I did not say golden meme. I said golden mean. The fact that so many of you thought I said golden meme instead of mean, like that makes me sad. Like Aristotle used to say, the golden mean. Are you talking about memes? No. You could be. I mean, we could be talking about memes. Memes can make you happy. I am world renowned for my YouTube community tab meme game. Our science meme lord, exactly. SVS Guru with the 10 euros, so you know it's better. On a planet experiencing accelerated time, like in the Star Trek Voyager episode Blink of an Eye, would the stars appear blue-shifted, red-shifted, or unaffected? Accelerated time on a planet. So when you talk about relativistic effects like that. They are relative, which means that if the time... Oh, I would have to ask you this. From what reference point does it look accelerated? If you are looking at the planet from outside, like on a spaceship looking down at the surface, does it look accelerated there? Or does it feel accelerated when you look at other stuff? Okay? Because if you're on a planet and you somehow were able to look outside at a spaceship, and the people on the spaceship were all moving relatively slowly, and their clocks literally ticked more slowly, that spaceship would be traveling at near light speed. And then, for that spaceship, they would be seeing weird relativistic effects with the light coming from stars. But if someone on a spaceship is looking at... So that spaceship that you observe to look like the people are moving in slow motion, if they looked at you, it looked like your life is sped up. Your clocks are literally ticking faster. Why? Because they have to. It's a law of the universe. So that the speed of light can remain constant in all equal reference frames. If time slows somewhere from one reference point, something else has to be speeding up from the other reference point. There can't be any discrepancy in what both reference points measure as the speed of light. That's the main tenet of relativity. The relative tenet of Christopher Nolan. I don't know if that made sense. Getting my mind blown at 10 past midnight, says the Jesscast. Happy to entertain no matter what the time frame is. That's a facility for you. Entertaining no matter what your time frame is saying. Nailed it. Ezekiel Di Stefano says the Mormons already accept that there's life elsewhere in the universe. Yeah, I'm not saying all, ideologies would have to immediately change something to accept the discovery of alien life. I'm just saying a lot of stuff, The Crafty Gamer Lady reminding everyone to check out that sweet merch. Speaking of which, we have about 10 more minutes. Speaking of which, we are hard at work on the next merchandise drop at the facility. This collection is called Not a Supervillain, and I'm very happy with it. The designs are awesome, and today, maybe even by the time I'm finished on this stream, I will go check, because do you know what I'm getting delivered today as a sample? Facility lab coats. That's right. We're doing it. We're making facility lab coats, and I will try out when it gets here, and I will post a photo on the facility Patreon, on the Discord. You can check it out. But, so like I said, new merch incoming very soon. Happy with it. It's even better than the first one. Gonna have pins. Custom lab coats. The third thing, which holds all the other things. That's mathematics. Are they legit lab coats? Says Mr. Meeseeks. Look at me! Yes. We are basically just embroidering the facility logo on actual usable lab coats. And so if any of you are working scientists or engineers or even mechanics or who else needs a lab coat, you don't need to... If you actually use your lab coat for work, you will be able to do so, and I want to see a photo of you doing science in your lab coat. That will make me so happy. Jay Arrows with the 99.99. Being a sneaky simp for science at work, shooting these X-rays. Rumor has it that Amos is flying the James Webb out to Debel. Love that, Kyle. Love that, Joker. Ding. Thank you, Jay, for the 99.99. Amos, he's a nice guy. I forgot his name at Comic-Con once, and then he punched me in the shoulder so hard that it left a bruise for 3 weeks. Nice guy. Nice guy, Amos. Shooting X-rays at work, huh? I might be doing a Half-Life history soon, Jay, about an X-ray machine specifically. Super cool to see you work with the Cloak brand. I love it, says Wolfie Muse. Yes, if you want to see me looking like a werewolf lumberjack, cloakbrand.com as well. I would love a lab coat that says Misting Wolf. Oh, sorry. So, yeah. So, because it's an actual lab coat that you can use and it's rated for all the safety stuff, we couldn't do that much customization to it, so we'll probably just have the facility logo. But it's a subtle little way to look at other nerds and be like, I'm a nerd too, because I watched that nerdy thing. But they're real lab coats with, sleeves that go all the way to the required length, the buttons, all the pockets. They're real. They're not just long shirts, which I guess is what a coat is. 2 super chats missed, says Sir Winter Rain. Oh, crap. I saw them. They just disappeared, sir. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Have you read Project Hail Mary? I missed another super chat about that by Andy Weir and wanted to know your thoughts on Astrophage. I have not read Project Hail Mary yet. Arcana says I will definitely wear the lab coat in my lab. Yeah, even though I'm a machinist, I might get a lab coat, says Wolfie Muse. Get him. If we'll work, I have not read whatever you asked me to read. Project Hail Mary. I have not been reading very much. I've mostly been feeling terrible and writing scripts and going on bike rides and working out. That's kind of my day-to-day life. And taking care of cats. I need to read more, is what I was getting at. I'd wear a lab coat. I buy a lab coat just to wear a lab coat. Dude in the chat who says, ban me, I dare you. All right, you're gone. Are your cats forbidden from the streaming area of the facility? Says Matterbeam. Yes. Lady, the distinguished Lady 3 Jane Marie France Tessier Ashpool specifically, loves to climb on lights and the back of my chair and basically jump around. And I look at this Matterbeam. Look at this expensive geo locator device here. I can't have cats just jumping on that. Yes. I do let them in when we do the members only live streams though. Just one or two more questions here. Hey, Mr. Hill says, Heiko, how is the future of Chernobyl in your opinion? In talking to people, scientists and engineers at Chernobyl, I believe it's probably a forever problem. Unfortunately, it would cost so much money to fully clean up the site. No one's ever going to pay for it. Ukraine doesn't have the money. Russia will never pay for it, especially not now, after invading them. But until you get to Chernobyl, you don't really realize that it is grossly contaminated. It is not just, oh, hey, the reactor's over there, don't go there. No, it's more like the grass, the moss, pieces of concrete underneath it, the machines that they used to clean up the site were just thrown into the woods. It looks like a tornado blew through there. And that was 35 years ago. So I don't think it'll ever fully get cleaned up. It's too much mess with too little international attention and effort and money behind it. In theory, yes, Jake Johnson says, you're a hard man to send a message to. I just proved you wrong. There is a way to clean up all of Chernobyl. Sure. But it would take too much time and too much money, and no one's going to do it. A lot of people trying to get my attention at the exact same time. Eric Roeder says, if I'm 99 pounds and I eat 1 pound of nachos, I'm 1% nacho. There was one other thing. If I wore a lab coat, would people think I'm an evil pharmacist? Yes. The Duncan Cadster, my donation wasn't expensive enough to warrant a live read. Sad faces. The Drunken Cadster. It's not true. I saw it, but I can't get to. I say this I can't get to everything. I try to part, and if I stopped every half sentence to read it, I'm sorry, I can't. Notice me, Kyle. Notice me. It says K.A. Austin. What do you think of the theory of endosymbiosis exists with aliens? Like the idea that they may have also incorporated other organisms into their own organism, like our mitochondria did with chloroplasts so long ago. Oh wait, or our cells did with mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell, so long ago. I don't know. I love you even if you don't notice me, Kyle says Mooples. Everybody, coming up at the facility this week. Oh, we have a fun one this week. Angie with the 10. Love and appreciate all you do. Thanks for this. We have a couple of cool episodes coming up at the facility in the next couple of weeks. Of course, we will get out more Chernobyl stuff when we get through all of our trials and tribulations, of which there are many. But we're also working with a company that, remember when we made the darkest place on Earth with the Vanta Black paper? The same company made an actual invisibility shield that you can own. But first they sent it to the facility to see if we can figure out the science and then show it to all of you. So we'll be showing you the world's first publicly available invisibility shield, which you can buy. We're also tackling something that I've wanted to tackle a long time. We're working with some industry experts and professionals to do an entire video about nuclear waste and whether or not nuclear waste is an actual problem, or is the scope and scale exaggerated or not exaggerated enough. And this week at the facility, we have what's behind the world's heaviest door. So that should be fun. So, a lot of cool stuff coming up. Let me just catch up real quick. Do you plan to do a video on ocean rise due to global warming? Not at the moment, Eric. Jake Johnson finally getting message to me with the 10. Have you considered covering the fallout over the Midwest from the Nevada testing? I have an interesting theory about the expansion of the universe I would love for you to look at. I don't know how those two things are related. Happy anniversary to the facility. Yeah, I guess yes. Thank you everyone for note. By the time the next live stream happens, last day in February is the 2-year anniversary of the facility. Whew. It's been a heck of a time where I'm more of a bit of a downslide at the moment, but we'll come back if it doesn't break me first. Anyway. So, no matter where it is, I see you. Whether it's on the next live stream, whether it's on our Discord, whether it's on the Patreon's only live stream that will be happening later this week for the anniversary of the facility. You can go to patreon.com/Kyle Hill, and you can soon drape on a silky white lab coat, like I always say. If you want to continue on this discussion, definitely go there, like the video, subscribe, if I have earned it. Wherever I see you next, I hope that until that time, you have a fantastic day, night, evening, dusk, whatever it is. And until I see you next time, be nice to each other, because this is all we got.